The story opens inside Ridgeway High School on a bright morning. The students fill the hallways, laughing and running between classes. Everything feels ordinary until we meet Ms. Naomi Carter, the new chemistry teacher. She's calm, kind, and carries herself with quiet confidence. She's in her early 30s, has dark brown skin, and speaks with warmth and control. What the students don't know is that she once served in the military, something she never talks about. Inside the lab, Naomi is setting up her lesson for the day. She smiles at the students, asking them to take their seats and prepare for an experiment. Most students respect her, but one boy, Tyler Crane, stands out. He's a senior, the popular rich kid whose father is an important town official. Tyler has a smug look on his face and carries a cruel sense of superiority. His best friend Zach sits next to him, laughing at his rude jokes. As Naomi begins explaining chemical reactions, Tyler whispers something racist under his breath, mocking her for being a black teacher. His friend laughs. Naomi hears but stays calm, pretending not to. Instead of reacting, she calls on Tyler to perform a demonstration. She wants to teach him responsibility without losing control. Tyler goes to the front of the class, pretending to follow her instructions, but he mixes the wrong chemicals on purpose. The beaker starts smoking, filling the lab with fumes. Students start coughing and panicking. Naomi quickly steps in, neutralizing the reaction and saving the situation. After things calm down, she turns to Tyler. Her voice stays steady as she warns him about safety. Tyler just smirks and says something cruel, that he's not used to taking orders from people like her. His words carry open racism. The room falls silent. Everyone looks shocked. Naomi's jaw tightens, but she keeps her composure. She tells him calmly that they'll talk after class, trying to diffuse the moment. The rest of the day feels heavy. Whispers spread through the school. Some students mock her quietly. Others just stay away. Naomi spends her lunch alone in the teacher's lounge, sipping coffee that's gone cold. She overhears other teachers talking about her. Some say she's too strict. Others mention rumors about her being ex-military. No one defends her. She stays silent and tries to focus on her work. Then comes Friday afternoon, the last class of the week. The students finish their experiments and rush out, all except Tyler, Zach, and two other boys. They linger in the lab, pretending to clean. Naomi feels something's wrong, but continues organizing her notes. Tyler approaches her slowly, mocking her again. He calls her soldier, makes jokes about her skin, and asks if she's ever fought anyone before. His tone turns darker with every word. Naomi tries to end it, telling him to leave. He steps closer, ignoring her warnings. And then, in a shocking moment, Tyler grabs her by the throat. Glass beakers fall and shatter. Her eyes widen, not from fear but disbelief. She doesn't fight back, she just stares at him. Her calmness makes the others freeze. Zach whispers for Tyler to stop, realizing he's gone too far. Finally, Naomi pries his hand off her neck, slowly, with control. Her expression never breaks. She looks straight into Tyler's eyes and says quietly, "You have no idea what you've just done." Her voice is calm but cold, the kind of tone that carries warning more than anger. Tyler backs away, uncertain now. He and his friends rush out of the room. Naomi stands alone in the lab, her hand trembling slightly. She sits down, trying to steady her breathing. The silence of the room is overwhelming. She touches her neck and closes her eyes, and suddenly, flashes of her past return. Desert heat, gunfire, soldiers shouting, the pain of loss. She whispers to herself, "Not again." The scene ends with her sitting quietly, the weight of both past and present pressing down on her. Monday morning arrives, but the silence from Friday still hangs heavy. Naomi comes to school as if nothing happened. Her neck is slightly bruised, hidden beneath a scarf. She teaches her class calmly, her tone the same as always. But inside, she's torn between pain and discipline, between her past instincts as a soldier and her duty as a teacher. Tyler, on the other hand, pretends like nothing happened. He laughs in the hallway, acts like a hero in front of his friends. He tells them that Naomi didn't even fight back, that she's weak, scared, and all talk. But deep down, he's uneasy. Every time he sees her standing confidently at the board, explaining formulas without fear, something inside him twists. She never reported him, never told the principal, never sought revenge. and that quietness begins to haunt him. Later that day, Naomi is called into the principal's office. Mr. Harris, a kind but cautious man, asks if everything is all right. He's heard vague rumors about an incident in her class. He offers to file a report, but she refuses. Her answer is calm. Some lessons can't be taught on paper. Harris doesn't understand, but he lets it go. Naomi walks out composed as ever. A week passes. The school organizes a field trip for the senior science students, a weekend retreat to a research training base called Fort Crest. Ironically, it's a former military training ground that's now used for educational purposes. Naomi volunteers to supervise the trip. When Tyler finds out she's coming, he forces a smirk to hide his discomfort. Zach notices. "You look nervous, man," he says. Tyler brushes it off, but something about her presence unsettles him now. On the day of the trip, the group arrives at Fort Crest. The air is cold and quiet, the old concrete buildings covered in vines. The base looks like a ghost of its past life. Students set up their tents while Naomi guides them. Her movements precise and calm, just like a soldier would. That evening, during an outdoor chemistry experiment, Tyler and his friends start teasing a shy girl named Lena, making fun of her stutter. Naomi sees it from afar and walks over, stopping them with just one firm look. She tells Tyler, "You're here to learn, not to destroy." Tyler mocks her again, calling her soldier in front of everyone. She pauses for a second. The word hits deep, but she turns and walks away without a word. Her silence feels heavier than any lecture. Later that night, rain starts to fall. Thunder echoes across the base. Most students are asleep in their tents, but Tyler and his friends sit under a canopy talking. Zach is uneasy. "You shouldn't have done that to her," he says. "Grabbing her. What if she tells someone?" Tyler shrugs, trying to sound confident. "She won't. People like her just take it." But his voice lacks conviction. Then, suddenly, a voice cuts through the storm behind them. "You think silence means fear? It's Naomi." She stands there under the rain, coat soaked, eyes calm but piercing. Lightning flashes, revealing the old training hall behind her. "Do you even know what this place used to be?" she asks quietly. No one answers. "This was a training ground," she continues, "where soldiers learned how to survive and how to fight back." She looks straight at Tyler. "Come with me." The boys hesitate, but Tyler, driven by pride, follows her into the hall. Inside, the place is empty, echoing with the sound of rain on metal roofs. Old training dummies line the walls. She walks to the center of the room and faces him. "You wanted to see what a soldier looks like?" she says. "Now you will." Tyler smirks nervously. "What are you going to do, ma'am? Show me some push-ups?" Before he can blink, she moves. Quick, smooth, controlled. She grabs his wrist, twists it, and sends him to the ground in one motion. The sound of his body hitting the mat echoes through the room. He stares up at her, eyes wide. She's not angry. She's calm. Dead calm. That, she says, is restraint. They teach it to soldiers and to humans. Zach stands frozen. Tyler struggles to get up, but she steps closer, voice low but firm. "When you grabbed my throat," she says, "you weren't attacking a woman. You were attacking every teacher who ever believed in you. Every person you think you're better than, and you needed to learn what that means." Her tone softens slightly, sadness behind her eyes. "I've seen boys your age die in wars they didn't start. They never got to come home. And you throw your strength around like it means nothing." Tyler's expression changes. The arrogance fades, replaced by guilt. His voice trembles. I'm sorry." Naomi steps back, breathing deeply. "Then prove it," she says quietly. "Be better than the man who taught you hate." Lightning flashes through the broken windows. A moment of realization, cleansing and raw. The next morning, the air feels different. Tyler isn't loud anymore. He helps other students pack, carries the heavy boxes, apologizes to Lena for teasing her. No one mocks him this time. Everyone can feel the change. Naomi watches silently, her face calm but peaceful. Later, the principal arrives to check on the trip. He notices the harmony among the students. Pulling Naomi aside, he says, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It's working." She smiles faintly. "Just a long night," she says. A few days later, back at school, Naomi enters her classroom. On her desk lies a folded note. She opens it and reads, "Miss Carter, thank you for what you taught me. Not about science, but about respect. Tyler." She smiles softly, her eyes glistening. The sunlight through the window warms her face. For the first time in weeks, the weight on her chest lifts. A gentle voiceover begins, her inner thoughts. Sometimes justice doesn't come from punishment. It comes from understanding what pain really means. The camera pans out through the classroom window, sunlight pouring in, the sound of students laughing in the hallway. The darkness of the past is gone. The story ends quietly, powerfully, with the message clear. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. The kind of strength that doesn't need to fight to win. The kind that changes hearts. And so, the woman they once mocked for being quiet became the one who taught them the loudest lesson of all: respect. Weeks pass since the trip to Fort Crest, but the lessons from that night still linger like a quiet echo in everyone's hearts. The once noisy and arrogant Tyler Crane is now noticeably different. His usual swagger is gone. His laughter no longer comes at someone else's expense. He walks the hallways of Ridgeway High like someone who's finally met the truth. And it humbled him. Students notice. Whispers start again, but this time they're not cruel. What happened to Tyler? He's actually nice now. Maybe Ms. Carter had something to do with it. And though no one knows the full story, they can all feel that something powerful changed between them. Naomi continues teaching quietly, the same calm, composed woman as always. But there's something gentler in her eyes now. Something healed. She still wears her scarf, not to hide bruises anymore, but almost as a symbol. Of survival, of restraint, of peace. One afternoon, as class ends, Tyler stays behind. For the first time since that dark day in the lab, he looks her directly in the eyes, not with arrogance, but honesty. "Miss Carter," he says quietly, "I wanted to thank you for not reporting me, for not ruining me." Naomi looks at him carefully. "You ruined yourself, Tyler. I just gave you a mirror." He lowers his head. "My dad? He's always talking about how people like him built this town. I grew up thinking I was better than everyone else. But that night you showed me what real strength looks like. And it wasn't hate." Naomi steps closer, her tone soft but firm. People who hate are often afraid. Afraid of losing power, afraid of being seen as small. But the strongest thing you can ever do, Tyler, is to see someone's pain and still choose kindness. He nods slowly, her words sinking deep. "I'm trying," he says. She gives a small smile. That's all anyone can ask. He leaves the room quietly, and for the first time she feels peace instead of tension when the door closes behind him. Later that week, the principal holds an assembly. He announces that Ridgeway High will be launching a new Respect and Unity program, a student-led initiative to fight bullying and discrimination. Surprisingly, the student leading it is Tyler Crane himself. The entire auditorium murmurs when his name is called. But when he walks up to the microphone, there's no smirk, no arrogance, only sincerity. "A few weeks ago," he begins, "I did something I'll regret for the rest of my life. I disrespected someone who only ever tried to teach me. I thought being powerful meant being feared, but I was wrong. Real power comes from respect, from listening, from admitting when you're wrong." The students listen in silence. Even teachers glance at each other, surprised. He continues, voice steady. "This school taught me science, sure. But one teacher taught me something much bigger, how to be human again." The crowd bursts into applause. Naomi sits in the back row watching quietly. She doesn't smile immediately. Instead, she closes her eyes for a moment, as if sending up a silent prayer of gratitude. When she finally opens them, she smiles, calm, proud, content. After the assembly, Naomi steps outside into the courtyard. The afternoon sun paints everything gold. The trees sway gently, kids laugh freely, and for the first time, she feels that Ridgeway High has become something worth fighting for. A familiar voice calls out. It's Lena, the shy girl Tyler used to tease. She walks up holding a small handmade card. "Ms. Carter," she says softly, "we made this for you." Inside the card are handwritten notes from dozens of students. "Thank you for being brave. Thank you for showing us respect. Thank you for not giving up on us." Naomi reads each one slowly. Tears well in her eyes, not because of pain, but because she realizes she's made a real difference. All those years of discipline, silence, and struggle, they finally meant something. She looks up at the sky and whispers, "I kept my promise." That evening, as the hall's empty, Naomi walks through the chemistry lab one last time before locking up. The beakers are neatly arranged, sunlight streaming through the glass shelves. She pauses at the same spot where Tyler once grabbed her throat. For a moment, her reflection appears faintly in the glass. Calm, strong, unshaken. Her voice echoes softly in her mind. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. She turns off the lights, leaving the room in a peaceful, dim glow. In the final scene, she walks outside to her car, stopping by the school's flagpole. The American flag flutters above her, the same flag she once saluted as a soldier. She straightens her posture, looks up, and salutes quietly one last time. Not for war, but for peace. A gentle voiceover plays. Justice doesn't always come through punishment or revenge. Sometimes it arrives quietly, through a change of heart, a lesson learned, a mind finally opened. And that's the kind of justice that lasts. As she drives away, the camera pans up to the school building glowing under the setting sun. Students laugh in the courtyard. Life goes on, but better, wiser, kinder.